Darci Lynne was Simon Cowell's golden girl, the million-dollar winner who single-handedly revitalized AGT. But behind the scenes, the contract that bound them together was quietly terminated, leaving fans wondering, what exactly happened to make the most powerful man in music walk away? To truly understand this sudden and dramatic split, we have to look back at the night that changed everything. It was the season 12 finale of America's Got Talent. The air in the Dolby Theater was thick with anticipation. Millions of viewers tuned in live, waiting to see if a 12-year-old girl from Oklahoma City could pull off the impossible. When the host announced Darci Lynne Farmer as the champion, gold confetti rained down, and the young girl broke down in tears of absolute joy. Sitting at the judges' table, Simon Cowell was beaming with a triumphant smile. He knew he had just witnessed the birth of a multi-million-dollar asset. Darci wasn't just a winner, she was a cultural phenomenon. Her performances on YouTube were pulling in tens of millions of views, outpacing every other contestant by a massive margin. She had accomplished something that very few performers in the history of television had ever done. She made ventriloquism, an art form long considered a dead, cheesy relic of the past, cool, modern, and highly emotional. Simon, the ultimate master of mainstream entertainment, saw her as his absolute crown jewel. What made Darci Lynne so incredibly valuable to Simon Cowell was her flawless execution of what he calls the unique selling point. In the entertainment industry, talent is abundant, but marketability is rare. Simon's entire career has been built on identifying acts that have a highly defined, easily packageable hook. Darci was the perfect storm. She was a polite, incredibly sweet, and slightly shy young girl who, the moment she held a puppet, transformed into a comedic and vocal powerhouse. Her audition, singing Ella Fitzgerald's Summertime through a rabbit puppet named Petunia, was an instant viral sensation. It showcased not only her impeccable vocal control, but her jaw-dropping ability to sing complex jazz runs without moving her lips. This wasn't just a novelty act, it was world-class musical theater. Simon Cowell immediately recognized that this juxtaposition of innocence and high-level theatrical skill was a goldmine. Under the standard post-show arrangement, the winner of America's Got Talent is integrated into Simon's massive corporate ecosystem, which at the time was anchored by his company, Syco Entertainment. The blueprint was simple: send her on a massive national tour, set up a lucrative headlining residency in Las Vegas, and license her image for merchandise and television specials. For the first few years, this machine worked flawlessly. Darci embarked on the Darci Lynne and Friends live tour, selling out theaters across the country, and even hosted her own highly rated Christmas special on NBC. To the public, she was the ultimate success story of the reality television pipeline. But in the entertainment industry, the gold confetti eventually clears, and what is left behind is a maze of legal agreements, corporate expectations, and financial realities that the audience never sees on television. The public often assumes that winning a show like America's Got Talent means instant wealth and complete artistic freedom. The truth is much more complicated. The famous $1 million prize is not handed over in a giant lump sum. It is actually paid out as an annuity over 40 years, translating to about $25,000 a year before taxes. If a winner wants the money immediately, they must opt for a lump sum payout, which reduces the prize money to a fraction of its original value, often around $300,000 after heavy taxes are deducted. Because of this, the real financial success of an AGT winner depends entirely on the contracts they sign with the show's producers and management companies. The standard contract signed by contestants before they even step foot on the stage gives Simon Cowell's Syco Entertainment a highly restrictive first right of refusal option. This option gives them exclusive control over the artist's management, recording contracts, and live performances. For a young, developing artist, this corporate embrace can quickly begin to feel like a pair of golden handcuffs. But what if the story of their split isn't about a mutual, friendly corporate transition? What if it was sparked by a silent, high-stakes standoff, fueled by a young artist who flatly refused to play the puppet anymore? Behind the scenes, a dramatic battle for creative control was quietly brewing, and the details that have recently surfaced are enough to completely redefine how we view reality television contracts. Rumors of a massive legal clash, intense backstage arguments, and a deep, fundamental disagreement over Darci's future began to leak into the industry. revealing that the sweet girl from Oklahoma was ready to do the one thing Simon Cowell never expected: stand up to him and fight for her voice. The tension that had been building behind closed doors finally erupted into the public eye during a highly anticipated television event, America's Got Talent, Fantasy League. This spin-off show brought back the most iconic champions and fan-favorite acts to compete against each other, but with a twist. The judges served as mentors, drafting acts onto their own personal teams. Darci Lynne, now 19 years old, returned to the stage that made her a star. But she was no longer the little girl clutching a stuffed rabbit. She was a mature, highly determined young woman who had spent years writing her own music and finding her own identity. She decided to use this global stage to make a bold, incredibly risky statement. During her initial performance, she walked out with her iconic rabbit, Petunia. But after only a few moments of traditional ventriloquism, Darci did something that left the judges and the audience in absolute shock. She set the puppet aside on a stand, picked up a heavy electric guitar, and belted out a fierce, rocking vocal performance as a solo artist. The message was clear: she was shedding the child star skin. She was an adult now, and she wanted to be respected as a serious, standalone singer-songwriter. But Simon Cowell's reaction was immediate and highly critical. He, along with Mel B, openly criticized her for setting the puppets aside. Simon argued that her ventriloquism was her unique selling point, telling her that by abandoning it, she was throwing away the very thing that made her special. He told her she was making a mistake by trying to compete in a crowded market of standard singers when she already had a monopoly on a completely unique art form. This onstage confrontation exposed the massive, irreconcilable gap between Simon Cowell's corporate vision and Darci Lynne's artistic ambition. To Simon, who views talent through the cold, pragmatic lens of a global brand manager, Darci was a product. Her brand was highly specific, highly profitable, and easily marketable to families. In Simon's eyes, a singing ventriloquist is a guaranteed sellout show in Las Vegas. A standard country pop singer-songwriter is a massive financial risk in an already oversaturated music industry. But to Darci, this formulaic approach was a creative death sentence. She had spent her entire adolescence being defined by a puppet. She had grown up, her voice had matured, and she wanted to express her own thoughts, her own struggles, and her own original melodies without having to filter them through a piece of felt. When she released her debut independent single, Push Our Luck, she made it clear that singing had always been her first love, and the puppets were merely a tool she used to overcome her childhood shyness. This is a classic conflict in show business. The mogul wants to freeze the artist in the exact moment of their peak marketability, while the artist demands the right to grow, evolve, and change. When Darci refused to back down, insisting on promoting her new musical direction and launching her Rebel Child tour as a solo singer-songwriter, the corporate relationship became unsustainable. While this personal and artistic clash was happening, the structural foundation of Simon Cowell's industry power was also undergoing a massive, quiet restructuring. For years, the ultimate prize for any music act on his shows was a direct recording contract with Syco Music. Syco had launched the global careers of One Direction, Leona Lewis, Susan Boyle, and Fifth Harmony, turning them into household names and generating billions of dollars in revenue. But by the early 20s, the traditional record label model was collapsing under the weight of the streaming era. Physical CD sales were gone, and artists no longer needed a massive, traditional label to reach their audience. In a shocking move that sent waves through the music world, Simon Cowell decided to officially shut down the music division of Syco Entertainment. He pivoted his entire business model away from managing and recording musical acts, choosing instead to focus solely on television production, format licensing, and live entertainment events. This structural shift meant that the very apparatus designed to support and launch the musical careers of his show's winners no longer existed. When Darci Lynne wanted to make the transition from a live novelty act to a serious, recording country pop artist, Simon's company was no longer equipped or interested in providing that kind of industry support. The quiet termination of their contract was not a dramatic, hostile firing. It was a cold, corporate acknowledgement that their paths had completely diverged. Simon was out of the music business, and Darci was out of the puppet business. Darci Lynne's struggle for creative independence is a story that has played out time and time again under Simon Cowell's watchful eye. The reality television pipeline is incredibly effective at manufacturing instant fame, but it is historically terrible at nurturing long-term, evolving artistic careers. Take Grace Vander Waal, for example. She won America's Got Talent at age 12, playing the ukulele and singing original songs with a quirky, raspy voice. Simon immediately declared her the next Taylor Swift and signed her to his joint venture with Columbia Records. But as Grace grew into a teenager, her artistic vision matured into a highly alternative, dark rock aesthetic that completely clashed with the clean, commercial pop image the label had planned for her. She eventually cut ties with the mainstream label system to pursue independent music and acting, seeking the freedom to define herself on her own terms. Another striking example is the massive British pop group One Direction. While they achieved unprecedented global success under Syco, the members have since opened up about the grueling schedules, lack of creative input, and intense psychological pressure they faced as young teenagers trapped in a massive corporate machine. These cautionary tales highlight a grim reality. The very contracts that promise to make you a star often require you to sign away your identity. In the end, being dropped by Simon Cowell's corporate umbrella was not a failure for Darci Lynne. It was her ultimate graduation. It allowed her to break free from the commercial expectations of a television executive who wanted her to remain 12 years old forever. Today, she is writing her own songs, playing her own instruments, and releasing music like Someone Wake Me Up entirely on her own terms. She is building a career that is based on her authentic voice, not a manufactured gimmick. She proved that true talent cannot be permanently boxed in or controlled by a contract. But this entire saga leaves us with a fascinating, deeper question. What really happens behind the scenes of these massive talent shows before the cameras even start rolling? What are the secret, highly controversial clauses that contestants are forced to sign just to get a chance at the spotlight? If you want to uncover the dark legal secrets, the hidden financial deductions, and the truth about how reality TV empires really treat their stars, click on the video on your screen right now. We break down the shocking reality that the networks are desperate to keep hidden.